Buonasera ragazzi, this is Talk Calcio TV. As you know, we've had two games this evening involving both teams behind us. AC Milan, the Rossoneri, and of course Napoli, the Parthenope. We're going to start with AC Milan, the Rossoneri. They lost of course to Arsenal in the week in the Europa League. A lot of criticism made of the team. And it didn't look as if it was a very good game today, I've got to be honest. It looked like a ball draw. It was heading that way. Until in 94 minutes, Suso's cross headed in by that man, Andre Silva. Silva, of course, was seen as the big summer signing, the coup, if you like, as long with this man, Leonardo Bonucci. He hasn't really fulfilled up to the promise made. He's been criticised by ex-Milan players. His coaches, both Gattuso and Montella, in their respective spells. You know, he didn't really, at one point, looked as if he was off to Wolves in the January transfer window. We don't know how true that rumour was, mind. But he came up with the goods today, and Milan, after their humiliating defeat at home in the San Siro to Arsenal during the week in the Europa League, Milan at least continue their good form in Serie A. Maybe they go into Thursday's game at the Emirates, maybe possibly in a different mindset. Who knows? I still think Arsenal will win that one or get through to the next round at Milan's expense. But tonight, Milan will have got the win, and Gattuso will be happy. He's got the response he would have been wanting, no doubt, as well. So as a win for Milan, they continue their request for the Europa League, possibly an outside chance of the Champions League. On to Napoli. Well, it was, of course, Inter Milan's 110th anniversary tonight as they took on Napoli at the San Siro, celebrating 110 years of existence. The game ended 0-0, which is not really good to either side, I've got to say. Inter, of course, they were chasing the third place automatic for Champions League qualification. Lazio, of course, slipped up yesterday. Inter haven't won tonight. It's a good weekend if you're a Roma fan, that's for certain. But Inter failed to gain ground. They have got a game in hand over Roma, but even if they win that now, they will still be behind them. Napoli, on the other hand, we said last week was a pivotal weekend in the Scudetto race. Have they now handed the baton to Juventus for the Scudetto race? Of course, Napoli could possibly be 4 points behind. The rearranged game of Juventus and Atalanta is this week at the Allianz Arena. 4 points behind, and then Napoli still have to go to Juventus in April. That game in Turin, I think, will probably all but seal it, but it looks like Napoli have been their own undoing here. The game itself, well, unfortunately, we've got to be honest there, we missed the first 35 minutes due to a slight technical error with the TV network on our box tonight. But when we finally got the signal back, it didn't look as if we'd missed much. It was 0-0. We didn't have much to say about the first half. Well, of course, we were having to read other Italian journalists' blogs on their Twitter feed. We was reading Tancredi Palmieri for a start, as well as others. The second half, though, it did start livened up a bit. Of course, Skriniar's header from an Inter Milan free kick hitting the post. Pepe Reina was beaten. Minutes later, Lorenzo Insigne curled an effort wide. He then, of course, put another one where he lobbed Handanovic in the Inter Milan goal, but it ended up on the roof of the net. On 63 minutes, Inter brought on Adair at the expense of Rafinha, whose body language said, he didn't look happy being substituted. I'm sure Spalletti will be having words with him about that one. Adair definitely brought some more pace to the Inter team, but you look at the two main strikers before this game, Mertens and Icardi. I've got to say, neither of those strikers were at the races today. It's got to be said. Icardi didn't get the service. He was basically physically outbossed Mertens. It didn't happen for him. It was all seemed to be happening from that man Lorenzo Insigne. He had several efforts, but he couldn't get away through for the Parthenope. At Inter Milan, of course, the pace they had once Adair come on, they look more lively. I always ask myself, how does Adair not start more? Surely if he plays in behind Icardi, they got pace in the side, and that's another option they've got. For whatever reason, Spalletti always keeps Adair on the bench. I never know why that one, I've got to say. After that, there was very few opportunities in the game. And I've got to say, Napoli looked as if last weekend's defeat still affected them. They kept their passing game, kept the ball, kept possession. But, towards the end, they were making misplaced passes, mistakes. Of course, there was one when the Calabi, his missliced cross hit the side net and Reina was beaten. Both teams, it's really not good for either side in their respective quests. Napoli now, they'll be thinking that they've handed the title to Juventus. Who knows? I mean, you can say, of course, Juventus will be in the Champions League. Napoli won't have European football to worry about. But all they can hope is that is a distraction for the Bianconeri. Personally, right now, with the form Juventus are in, having knocked out Spurs the other night, I personally can't see it. You know, Juventus could be 4 points ahead should they beat Atalanta this week in the rearranged fixture. I'm sure Napoli fans will be watching that one now with a degree of trepidation. It looks like Juventus are going to make it 7 in a row. Of course, we do have the big game between the two in April, but that might be a minor consolation should Juventus lose that one, given the points build up they could build up now. Also, like I say, Inter Milan, they've failed to gain on Roma. Of course, Lazio slipped up yesterday. If you're a Roma fan, you'll be happy now that you'll be in third place regardless, even when Inter play their game in hand, which of course is the Derby della Madonnina against AC Milan. So that was it then. As it stands, Juventus, they are top of Serie A at the end of round 28. Now, one thing we weren't aware of earlier on, we brought you our results show, of course, we hadn't seen this. We go back to the Artemio Franchi today when Fiorentina beat Benevento 1-0. Today has been about the number 13, the number worn by Davide Astori. In the 13th minute, the Fiorentina player put the ball out of play. There was just a minute of applause and there was unbelievable mosaic and choreography from Fiorentina at the Artemio Franchi with his name and his number 13. So we're going to leave you tonight with Davide Astori, one last tribute in what has been a very sad week of Italian football the last 7 days. But today it was about remembering. Don't forget to, of course, like, comment or subscribe. Talk Calcio TV on YouTube. Find us now on Facebook as well. Tomorrow night we're going to have build-up to the Champions League second leg between Roma hosting Shakhtar Donetsk at the Stadio Olimpico on Tuesday. So don't forget to tune in for that episode tomorrow. We're going to leave you with a last tribute to Davide Astori. Arrivederci. Ciao.